Today we're summarizing the story of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Why? Because that's the video idea my dumbass figured out at 7 in the morning when I was like sleep deprived and on 2 hours of sleep, and that's pretty much how I got this video idea. Now that you know the backstory that is completely irrelevant and unimportant to the entire video, let's get on with it. Alongside Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which I already covered on the channel, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days has one of, if not the best stories in all of Kingdom Hearts. And today, I'm going to try to summarize it in, well, however long this video is actually going to be, I have no idea. The main character of this story is Roxas, who is Sora's nobody, and the story focuses on the year he spent working for the Organization 13. No, not this new organization, but the original one from Kingdom Hearts 2, this one. During the first few days, Roxas can be compared to a zombie, barely even being able to form sentences and having pretty much no clue as to what's happening around him. Kinda like a baby. Due to the fact that he is such a zombie in the beginning, he needs a mentor of some sort to show him the ropes of working for the Organization 13. The member who is tasked with this is Axel, who I already made a video on, so in case you're interested, go ahead and check that out. Over the next few days, Axel shows Roxas the ropes, and after each mission, he takes him to a special spot at the top of the clock tower in Twilight Town. This place becomes their main hangout spot, and they spend a lot of their after mission / work time right there. However, Roxas and Axel would soon be joined by a third member, forming what people call in the community the Seesaw Trio. Soon after Roxas joined as the 13th member, a new member, Shion, joined the organization, and just like Axel did with Roxas, Roxas was tasked with showing her the ropes of working for the organization. Shion was at first even more of a zombie than Roxas, with there being a time where she was completely silent. On the 24th day, since Roxas joined the organization, Shion finally speaks her first word. Along with her first word, her face is also revealed in this scene, for the very first time ever. Just like Axel did with Roxas, Roxas has befriended Shion and showed her the spot where him and Axel hung out. Roxas then promises Shion that they would all hang out together after missions when Axel got back. 2 days later, Roxas is informed by Sayax that all of the members who were away on a mission in Castle Oblivion, and Castle Oblivion, for those of you that didn't know, is Organization 13's second castle, were basically toast, and that included Axel. Since Roxas is Sora's nobody, when Sora went to sleep at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 Chain of Memories, that affected Roxas as well, sending him into some sort of a state of sleep for the next few weeks. After waking up, Roxas carried out many solo missions, something he was not used to, as he would usually be partnered up with Shion for the last few weeks. On day 71, Roxas and Axel are finally reunited. This is where Roxas practically shits himself, which is something even Axel notices, and they head straight to their hangout spot, the clock tower. A couple of days later, Roxas and Axel encounter Shion, who has at this point been missing for a while. This is where we realize that Shion can't use the Keyblade anymore, and that if the organization finds out, she'll share the same fate as most of the members who are at Castle Oblivion. Here is where the trio starts brainstorming, and Axel finally thinks of a plan. His plan is to have Roxas and Shion keep going on missions together. However, this means that Roxas has to do his own work and Shion's work as well, which is not a problem for Roxas at all. In fact, this scene is where we can say that the Seesaw Trio is officially formed. On day 96, Roxas was told that him and Shion could not go on missions together anymore after this day. On apparently their last mission together, for a while Roxas lent Shion his Keyblade, and this is where the trio lucked out, since Shion was finally able to summon her own Keyblade again. She thanked Axel by buying him an ice cream, and the trio celebrated their success at their hangout spot. On day 118, Roxas experienced his first vacation. At first being really confused as to what a vacation even was. After consulting with his friends, he found out that he didn't have work on that day, that he could do whatever he wanted. Since Axel decided to waste his vacation by sleeping all day, and Shion wanted to practice, yeah guys, I gotta say, that's a great way of spending a day off from the both of you. thank you. Roxas, however, had a different plan. He went right to the clock tower and spent pretty much the entire day chilling with some ice cream. Soon, he was joined by his friends and they discussed their day off. They also made plans to go to the beach on their next vacation, after which they were faced with the reality that tomorrow they had to go back to doing their shitty Organization 13 chores. Shion fell into a coma-like state after failing one of her missions. This left her friends really worried for her, and they went to check up on her, not knowing whether she will wake up at all. Weeks later, Shion finally wakes up, and the trio finally gets to go back to their routine of ice cream and sunsets after missions. On one of their regular hangouts, Shion and Roxas wonder why they have never been sent to Castle Oblivion. But their conversation is interrupted as Shion almost falls off of the clock tower. And after a brief shit show, the trio agrees to go to the beach again on their next vacation. They still discuss that a little bit more, but that plan is for now on hold until, well, further notice, until their next vacation pretty much. On day 255, Shion goes to Castle Oblivion to take care of a little bit of an identity crisis she has at the time. Back with Roxas and Axel, they talk about the beginning of their friendship. Soon after, Shion completely disappears, and Axel and Roxas finally decide to go search for her. At the end of their unfruitful search, Axel finally confesses to Roxas that Shion is from Castle Oblivion, and that is probably why she was asking about it. The next day, Axel and Roxas go to Castle Oblivion in hopes of finding Shion, but after only a few steps, Roxas basically collapsed, and Axel dragged Roxas back to Twilight Town. In this scene, Roxas and Axel spot Shion with someone wearing the organization's outfit. This mysterious person was known to the organization as the Imposter. The next day, Roxas finally manages to catch up with Shion and he asks her to come back with him. Shion refuses and almost attacks Roxas at this point. Axel appears and a big fight breaks out between Axel and Shion. Roxas tries to stop it, but Axel knocks Shion out cold and leaves without saying a word to Roxas. Later, we get a scene with Shion and Riku, where Riku tells her that she is in fact a part of Sora and that she has to decide whether she wants to go back where she belongs, but she is at this point unable to completely make that decision on her own. On day 352, the trio gets to hang out at the clock tower for one last time. Just as they think the drama is behind them, the real tragedy is actually about to begin. The next day, Shion is sent on a mission with Zigbar and Axel, while Roxas is working on another solo mission. However, the mission goes south as Shion attacked Zigbar and pretty much ran away. In the meeting room, with all of the organization members present, it is finally revealed that Shion was a replica/puppet of the organization, made to copy the powers of the Keyblade. Axel is ordered to bring her back to the organization, where she would be pretty much reprogrammed by Xemnas. Roxas decides to ask Axel about his origins and tries to get some answers out of him, but the only thing that Roxas realized from their conversation is that the organization didn't need him anymore. Roxas then asks Axel if he knows anything about him, but Axel refuses to tell Roxas the truth. This causes Roxas to storm out of the room. Roxas decides to leave the organization in search for the answers he was never given. Back with Shion and Namine, on the next day, Shion finally makes the choice to go back to where she really belongs. But upon trying to leave, Axel shows up where another fight happens, and Axel manages to bring her back to the organization, where she is reprogrammed by Xemnas. Roxas is then seen alone at his hangout spot, and Shion appears out of nowhere and tries to make Roxas a part of her in hopes of getting him to go back to Sora, just like her. And guess what? Another freaking fight. We had enough fights at this point already. Don't you think Square is just doing it a little bit too much right now? Like, enough fights. Chill out, dude. After a long fight, Roxas beats Shion and she starts fading away. She then asks Roxas to free all of the hearts, and after this extremely sad scene, we cut back to Axel, who is wondering how did this whole thing happen. He notices an envelope that Roxas left him as a farewell letter, and inside was just the ice cream stick that said winner on it. On day 358, Roxas is seen leaving the organization, but Riku steps in his way. After a long fight, Riku is forced to quite literally become Ansem the Seeker of Darkness himself, and pretty much suffocates Roxas at this point. Roxas is then captured by Riku and Diz and brought to Twilight Town. where his memories were completely altered by Naminé. By the way, just want to mention that this is not the real Twilight Town, but in fact a digital copy of Twilight Town. In the final scene of Kingdom Hearts 3:15 over 2 days, we see Roxas waking up in the digital version of Twilight Town and thinking he's just a normal kid living out the last few days of his summer vacation. And man, this story is really good, and I gotta say, it was tough to put all of this together and summarize it as best as I can. However, that is pretty much it. I hope I did a good job at summarizing the story of Kingdom Hearts 3:15 over 2 days. This video took me a while to make, so I would love to read your thoughts on it down in the comments. And above all, thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you watched this all the way through, you're a real MVP. And until the next time, see ya boys. Bye bye.